Hey, what's up, everybody? Tommy C here for Glory Hunters. Remember when I told you this is a community project? Well, we're finally getting this off the ground. Look, Glory Hunters is my channel, but it's not just about me. This is my idea was to get people, all sorts of content creators, to put stuff on this channel. And we got our first upload. In fact, it gave me 2 videos, and I'm probably releasing them either today or tomorrow. And I'm really excited about it. You can see Benjamin and Curtis here, these 2 English boys. They're on a channel called Over the Bar, which is really cool. They have the Bundesliga show. They actually came to Wiesbaden recently for the Gunther Fürth game, which is really cool. And they cover pretty much the whole world of football. It's a very similar channel. They did watch-alongs the whole nine. They asked me if they could put some content up. I'm more than happy to do it. I think you should, for some reason, if you're not subbed, you should sub to them. And without further ado, let's give it to Curtis and Benjamin. Let me know what you think. And if you want to do something like this yourself, let me know. Take care. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Glory Hunters. My name is Benjamin, and today I am joined by my EFL partner in crime, Reese. And today we have a very juicy little debate to be had. KIERAN MCKENNA, who is a very highly sought after coach down here in England, he has been linked to Chelsea, Manchester United, and of course Brighton as well. Now, Reese and I are both fans. We thought it would be best to start off these series of videos, with a little debate about KIERAN MCKENNA and the fact that he has been linked to these clubs. First of all, Reese, am I right in being a bitter Ipswich Town fan, or do I need to get a grip?
No, I think the feelings there are perfectly valid. I think from the moment that KIERAN MCKENNA came in, from the moment he was appointed by Mark Ashton, it was very clear that the ambition was to get to the Premier League. And I know that managers say this all the time when they come to a new club, oh, we want to be high up in the leagues, etc., etc. That's all natural to say. But when we then get to the promised land, which is the Premier League for us, for McKenna to jump ship instantly, it feels like we're being used and it feels like a backstab.
And before we go any further into this debate, here's a little bio of KIERAN MCKENNA. He was previously a coach under Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. He was endorsed by both of those coaches and Sir Alex Ferguson as well. He took over at Ipswich in December 2021, an Ipswich side that was struggling in League One, and if we are to be totally honest here, was a bang average League One side. He took that squad and he got them back-to-back promotions from League One into the Premier League, which down here in England, especially with how tight and competitive the Championship is and how competitive the Premier League is as well, is a very impressive feat indeed. And this is big news in Ipswich, all because, he is a manager that has brought us success. We've been languishing outside the Premier League now for over 22 years. And I'll list off some of the clubs that he's been linked with. Brighton, Manchester United, and Chelsea. Why? Okay, Reese, put yourself in McKenna's shoes. Why would you want to leave to any of those clubs?
I think the only one that I can sort of justify from a McKenna point of view is the Manchester United job. And even with that one, I'm finding myself at loose ends with questions. And when I say this, I'm taking nothing away from Brighton. I think they're a very similar club to where Ipswich Town are. I think they're just a few more years along their journey. They're a few more years ahead of where we want to be. That's where I think is a sort of club and a sort of model that we'll be looking at to achieve in the next 3 to 5 seasons, if all goes well. So if he goes and sees that Brighton job as attractive, I don't think it is. I'd see it more as a sideways step. And I know that people, after hearing this, are going to be in the comments section below tweeting me, telling me how sort of wrong that opinion is. But I don't see it as an improvement on what he's doing now. If you look at sort of McKenna's role within the club, he isn't just a coach, he isn't just a manager. He has says in the training ground, in how the facilities are laid out. He has says in the practice pitches and the layout and the structure of everything like that as well. The Manchester United job is the only one I see as viable because he's a Manchester United supporter. He's come through the ranks in terms of coaching at the club, and ultimately his end goal is to manage at Old Trafford. You look at the sort of Chelsea job, and that one again, it's what direction are Chelsea heading in? Now, I don't claim to be any sort of Premier League expert. I've always said I'm more of an EFL man. But you look at Chelsea's recent appointments, and they're just crossing over each other. What direction are they actually trying to go in? So they brought in a very, very sort of good coach, Mauricio Pochettino, an appointment that I thought at the time was very smart, and I've let him go after one season. So I don't understand what the actual ambition at Chelsea is.
And of course, news has broken in the last 24 hours that Manchester United have decided to sack Erik ten Hag. Again, take these sources with a pinch of salt. We don't know whether anything really in the news nowadays is true or not. But ultimately, this has led to McKenna being linked to the Manchester United job as well. And an interesting tweet that I also saw on social media was this by Big J. You can't be patient with a manager who won us our first trophy in 8 years, and you expect me to believe you'll be patient with McKenna, who hasn't even managed a single Premier League game, or whoever bloody takes over from Eric. So basically, this Twitter user is saying that you'd be delusional to think that Manchester United fans would have any patience with McKenna. Surely the United job is a poison chalice of a managerial job to take over at this stage.
Yeah, of course it is. And I hope people can see through that we're not just talking from Ipswich, we are trying to be neutral as well in our opinions. But you look at a club like Manchester United, Chelsea up in this bracket as well, any of the sort of traditional top 6 or top 4 sides. When you go to a club like that, the fans aren't patient. They want trophies, they want finals, they want silverware instantly. McKenna isn't your instant man. He's not a quick fix solution, especially when you look at Manchester United squad. I think there's a lot of problems from an outside point of view with their squad. I don't think, particularly the goalkeeping is one of their strengths at the moment. I don't rate Andre Onana. You look at the back and you look at the likes of Harry Maguire, another player that I don't really rate, to be honest. And then you got egos. The likes of Bruno Fernandes, who, if he's your club captain, you need help, because he reminds me more of a spoilt child who throws his toys out with a pram at any decision. So I think to balance all of that and change the ethos of a club is too much at this stage of McKenna's career.
And I think you're spot on there when saying that. And the problem that I have is that, like, I reckon it's, and I think somebody I was talking to earlier on said this, that it's much bigger an achievement to keep Ipswich in the Premier League than it would be to maybe do well with Brighton and Hove Albion at this stage of your career. If it goes to Chelsea or Manchester United, these jobs at the moment are almost like synonymous with failure in the last couple of years. Like at Manchester United, it hasn't worked under Ralph Rangnick, it hasn't worked under Jose Mourinho, nor has it worked under Erik ten Hag. We can list a bunch of managers who've been there in the last couple of years, and I think it's more of a systematic problem at United than anything else. And I don't see what hiring a manager like KIERAN MCKENNA would do to solve any of it. Because look, he's a manager who is very good at bringing in young players. I simply think that Manchester United don't have the resources to give a young manager like KIERAN MCKENNA that much responsibility at the club. And you can say the same thing at Chelsea and how ignorant a lot of their kind of like board members are. Because, like the decision, which I'm sure we'll be discussing in another video, with Mauricio Pochettino getting sacked, who knows, that won't be the same thing happening to McKenna if he has a really bad start at Chelsea. We saw how little time they gave to Graham Potter as well. So those two jobs just don't really make sense. And I was reading kind of like Chelsea and Manchester United Twitter, and a lot of their fans were simply saying, look, we're aiming for mediocrity, which I disagreed. You probably don't know much about McKenna if you think that he's a bad appointment. But I do kind of get what they're saying, and I do kind of like understand the point of view that they're coming from in regards to the type of appointments they're going towards. And Brighton, I'd be gutted if they moved, or if he moved to Brighton. If he leaves, Reese, will that ruin McKenna's legacy at Ipswich Town?
I don't think it would necessarily ruin a legacy or destroy it, but it would certainly put a really big stain on the legacy, I think, because to take us and take nothing away from the job that McKenna's done with us, to get back-to-back promotions to the Premier League is an incredible achievement. And I know a lot of Town fans, including myself, have been very emotional lately on social media, and they're probably taking a couple of takes that would probably, would regret with the benefit of time. But it's so up and down, and I don't see how jumping ship at the moment would help his career. If we look at, skipping ahead now, let's say if McKenna is in charge in mid-August for that first home game at Ipswich, what does that do to the atmosphere at Portman Road? I was having this debate with a couple of guys earlier at work, and we were saying this whole saga, it's turning into a drama, and it's starting to starting to split the fan base into two groups. We're already seeing a divide happening between McKenna in and McKenna out, which is a ridiculous thing to say after the last couple of years. How will the atmosphere be at Portman Road in the first game of the season?
Exactly, and personally for me, like we talk about the likes of George Burley and Sir Bobby Robson. If you're not an Ipswich Town fan, they're legends, managerial legends at our football club. And if McKenna was to stay, I think we'd almost be talking about McKenna with those two very iconic managers at our football club. And simply, I think if he left now to a club no bigger than we are in Brighton, let's be totally honest here, Brighton have European football, but I don't think they're any bigger than we are, or to Manchester United or Chelsea. I reckon that would kind of like sour half of the fan base. But if you are watching, then let us know down below in the comments what you think about Kieran McKenna being linked to Brighton and Hove Albion, Manchester United and Chelsea. And just to finish off this video, here is a brief summarization of what has happened in the last 72 hours. So this is HLTCO on Twitter. In the last 72 hours, Kieran McKenna is waiting for Chelsea. Brighton want him. He would rather go to Stamford Bridge. Leicester manager Maresca has been lined up instead. United also keen on McKenna. Thomas Tuchel supposedly favourite for it. Company is set to replace him at Bayern Munich. Pochettino linked to Old Trafford too. Erik ten Hag is yet to be sacked. Yeah, as we just stated, he's allegedly about to be sacked by Manchester United. And we're not going to be talking about this in today's video, but Wayne Rooney linked to Plymouth. So it's been a very drama-filled couple of hours in the footballing world. But you can find Glory Hunters on Discord. Simply type us up on Twitter or on YouTube and you can find the link right there. And we're of course on YouTube as well. Simply type Glory Hunters into the search bar. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you all next time.